Hi, y'all. I'm not really a Southern person, but I do like that term. Um, Today I'm bringing up something I think is just hilarious. Okay, it's maybe not hilarious why it's out there and why there's an issue with this, but or a demand for it, but still think it's kind of hilarious. The term, the dad bod. Seriously. So now we don't have just a need for a daddy figure. We actually want a daddy body. Um, my daughter brought this up. I'm like, what do you mean a dad bod? I mean, I've seen the term, but I'm like, what do you mean? And she said, it's the fluffy daddy body type that seems to be desirous today. I'm like, what? And her and we talked, and she's 18, okay? And so she's definitely hearing these terms and seeing these trends. And I asked her, I said, what would possess a woman to desire, especially if they're sweet and young and pretty, what would make them desire a dad bod? And we discussed it because we've come out of a controlling home and situation, and we've kind of come to the understanding that a dad bod represents security to them. They're not in competition with a lot of women for this guy, and he represents, the daddy's security. But I wouldn't say that's the foundation of a healthy attraction or attachment. In fact, I strongly believe it's not. Any kind of form of control is not a good thing. We want security, but when we try to secure something ourselves in a form of control, I think we get it wrong more often than not. We're toxic. Because God is our form of control. God is our peace. God is our protector, our Jehovah Jireh, our Jehovah Nisi. And even when we are sick, he's a Jehovah Rapha. So I think that we get it wrong. We want control. Then you've got the reverse effect. You've got the guy who's, the tall, dark, and handsome, and maybe a little vain. And if he doesn't have enough security in the character of himself and the inward man, God hasn't validated him there. He can be happy to have this heady influence that his appearance has over women. Feel in control. Once again, a form of security control. Let me bring up a scripture, because I think we should always tie it into scripture, right? Galatians 5:26 says, "Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another." That really is what the outward appearance and the outward man is about, right? Am I as a guy, am I 6 foot or am I 5'7"? Do I have, the stud body, or do I have the dad bod? And the women, it's like, am I part of a harem of women that are after him? Or, part of The Bachelor? That show it's so cringy. It's not even funny, The Bachelor. Or am I going to find a dad bod that's, going to only want me? I'm going to tell you right here and now, that form of control, it doesn't work. I married someone that was more charm than attraction to me. And he ended up with the dad bod. But charm is deceitful. And that dad bod, he was provoked many times. It says, do not be envious of, or desirous of vainglory, provoking each other. He was provoked all the time. He was not a form of security. That dad bod tried to strangle me in the end. So, and it was keep control over his trophy wife, his pretty object. He thought, I was the eye candy. I was the thing. I was the trophy. I was his. To this day, he still says, I'm his. But I'm not. I'm God's. And even the law says I'm no longer his wife. But to his idea of control, it was possessing the object. So whether you're 5'7" and just have a kind face, or you're, 6'4" and, tall, dark, and handsome, let it be about the inward man. Because anytime we try to control what's on the outside, what we look like, we become the shrine. And, we're working out, we're buff, and we become the shrine instead of being God's temple. Or we seek to have a trophy. We seek to have, something to worship, a shrine to worship at. We are going to be in trouble. Because that form of control is only spiraling to provoke one another, envy one another. Just embrace who God made you in Jesus' name.